All right. Nope. We need this. Alrighty then. We're live. Burry finally uploaded part one of the GameStop article, story, whatever you want to call it. The foundations of the Big Short Squeeze. So that'll be something, maybe. It's a long-ass article. I'm not really, it's gonna be a long read. So hopefully we don't get attacked by bots. Which, probably not. What's up, Unknown? How you doing, man? How you doing, Unknown? Yeah, this is gonna be a long article. It's gonna be a long one. Crypto's still down. The market isn't really moving. What's up, Moose? What's up, Moose? Yeah, I would have been on sooner, but my power was off for some reason. Skimmed it this morning, but waiting for you to deep dive. I've only read like a tiny bit of it. I haven't read much of it. Like I said, I would have started sooner, but like a transformer blew up in my neighborhood or something. I don't really know what happened, but I haven't had power like all morning. Kind of sucked because I would have liked to be finishing up with the article by now, but instead I'm just starting it, which is pretty unfortunate. It looked like there was a lot of detail that a lot of people probably haven't considered. The comment section was funny because it's a bunch of tinfoilers in the comment section. And I don't think Burry's gonna respond to any of those people, but it's pretty interesting. Responded to a few on X. I'll check those out real quick. Nothing meaningful. We'll check it out real quick. Give it a peep. A peeps. A Lil Bo peep. What the fuck? The Sam Altman Christmas calendar, bro? Sam Altman wishes he was that jacked. There's no way. That dude looks like a fragile nerd. Where the hell's Burry? Here he is. Free article to everyone. I'm glad he made the article free. I thought he was gonna lock it. Taking time with it, I included primary source material. Curious to know if you are aware of the subreddit. Thank you and oh yes. That's funny. Nothing. You're right, nothing. You're right. It's a whole lot of nothing. Oh well. I guess we'll start reading. Oh, it's gonna be a long read. I'm gonna probably be ignoring the chat a lot. And if, a bunch of bots come in again, we're making it sub only. But yeah, I'll probably be ignoring the chat. And it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one. So strap in. Strap in. Doesn't look like there. Well, there's a few people here, but was hoping more regulars would pop in. I did start the stream a little late. I'm gonna ban you, Elvis. I'm like this close to just banning you forever. So, you know, make your choice. I mean, it probably won't be forever. Realistically, it'll probably be for like a month or so, like normally. But you never know. It could be forever. You never know. You really never know. Anything else important to look at before we start this? Probably not, I'd imagine. Most news isn't that great. Her dog should be treated as her child for tax purposes. That's pretty dumb. Fake doctor allegedly followed YouTube surgery tutorial. What the fuck? What are these articles? McSpicy chicken sandwich. What's the difference? I don't get what's so special about the McSpicy. I don't get it. I don't get it. What's up, Muma? I haven't read it yet. About to read it on stream here. Just chilling. Just chilling for a sec. Because it's a pretty long article. I do remember when Twitch was like, a lot of people were against gambling on Twitch, and that's kind of an interesting article, like, that they're now running gambling ads. It's actually pretty interesting. Dead Island 3? Shit, that's a good game. Dead Island's pretty good. You know, I'll probably never play Dead Island 3, but it's a good game. Tucker Geenald, dead at 31? Who's this? Suicide? That's sad. That's sad. Scientists develop brain implant designed to work directly with AI. "92-year-old grandma wins Tekken 8 tournament." What a boss. Disney GPT, an Iron Man inspired AI tool. Disney GPT? Okay. Okay. Can't tell if he's bullish or reminiscing on a stock play that he should have held on to. Maybe even more long-term, not just on GME, but investing in general. Interesting. I'm excited to read it. I mean, he's probably reminiscing, but you never know. I'll let you know what I think when I read it. Just judging by what the article and all the information so far, I imagine it's just him showing his due diligence before he ever made the play. But yeah, I'll be interested to read it. All right, we checked out all that news. What CNBC news is there? Weed stocks. Weed stocks. You wanna you wanna invest in some weed stocks? you wanna buy some weed stocks? hey hey there, you wanna buy some weed stocks? This shit is fire. This shit right here is fire. The news is so boring. At least we got something to read, I guess. At least we got something to read, because the news is clapped. What is going on? Why has the SEC website been so trash lately? For some reason, it never loads. Whatever. We'll check Reddit, and then I'll start reading. I'm going to be ignoring the chat. And, you know, like I said, if all the bots start piling in, I'll make it sub-only. But, yeah, it's going to be a long read. Michael Burry says GameStop CEO could be the next Warren Buffett. Oh, is that going to be in the article? KCR! What's up, KCR? How you doing, bro? My intention's not to stir up anything in the stock. Burry's 69th post on X. Really? It's the GameStop. Wait, is that's actually his 69th post? That's funny. That's funny. Jeremy, what's up, Jeremy? Fallout season premiere tonight. Well, nice. I haven't watched. Isn't that a new season? Hasn't Fallout been out for a while? Alright, just a bunch of people talking about what Burry wrote, so I guess we might as well just get right into it. Let's get right into the news! Isn't that a Keemstar or some shit? Let's get right into the news! Season 2? Ah, interesting. I've never seen Fallout. Is it worth the watch? I told myself I wouldn't commit to a show, or after Walking Dead, I wouldn't commit to another show. But it's only 2 seasons, so maybe I could manage that. Is it worth the watch? I mean, you're talking about it in the chat. I imagine it's worth the watch. But I'm not really I don't really know the game that well, so I don't know how much I would enjoy the video. Matt Romano. What's up, Matt Romano? Been a while. I hope you're doing good. It's so good. Well, maybe after Walking Dead, I'll have to check it out. What's it on? What streaming service is it on? Prime? I don't have Prime. My cousin has Prime, so maybe we'll watch it. I don't know. I have a hard time with series. But maybe I'll check it out. I just don't have Prime personally, so it's going to be hard for me to watch it. Aaron, been a member for 3 months. Let's go. Shout out Aaron. I appreciate you, bro. I forgot you could do that. You can I don't know how he did that, but I know you can do it. Shout out Aaron. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to all the members. Thank you guys for... A lot of you guys, some of you guys are coming up on your first year as a member, which is crazy. So shout out to the members, bro. I appreciate you guys. Not only do you watch the stream frequently, but you also pay me a whopping 50 cents, baby. I mean, you pay $1 to YouTube, but they take half of it. So screw them. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, Moose is coming up on his year, bro. Moose. You've almost been a member for a year, Moose. That's crazy, bro. That's insane. Clyde, for some reason, is still a member. I literally haven't seen Clyde in here in probably like 9 months. Somehow he's still a member. Oh, man. And Muma, you're coming up on your 10th month? That's awesome. Jeremy and Break Nation have been and Rosh, you guys have been members for 6 months. Oh, dude, Small Fry's been almost a member for a year, too. And Devin Toops. I haven't seen those guys in a while. Shout out to the members, bro. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Alright. I'm going to be ignoring the chat now. I'm going to be reading this article. Unless, someone has something relevant about the article. Maybe I'll read the chat. But watch out for bots. And yeah, we might have to make it sub only. We'll see. Probably not. Doesn't look like we got bots today. Thank God. Thank God. Whatever happened yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was fucking weird, bro. But let's get right into it, chat. Let's get right into it. Thank you guys for being here. Alright. Foundations, The Big Short Squeeze. GameStop the Prequel by Michael Burry. Tore a blade from my lawn, and without so much as a peep, launched it toward the moon. Unsure as to east or west, as that was not my intention, I knew where it would land. There next to the living, to die and feed the next generation, such is the trajectory of many, many common stocks. In a distinguishably analog manner, I know this, stacked in Science conference room are S&P stock guides for every month going back to 1968. I guarantee you have not heard of the vast majority of the companies in those guides. For those that do not trust anything analog, since 1990, there have been over 750 replacements in the S&P 500 index. Google's Gemini 3 Pro swears by it. Claude Max agrees. Gemini 3 Pro and Claude Max further propose that 45% of the top 20 names in the 1999 NASDAQ 100 ended up bankrupt or acquired after a 75% loss. Wow, that's very interesting. This is going to be a good article. This checks out my conference room says, capital is always fighting to be recycled. Thusly, you now carry the knowledge that most investors are best off in an index and have no need to invest in individual stocks. If one is rather young and has 50 to 70 years left, then one absolutely should be almost entirely invested in common stock indices, preferably the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100, or both. Live life, touch grass, achieve real things, automatically reinvest dividends, and let the compounding of the index gods do the work. Maybe not this very day, but over time, this is the way for most. I agree. Most people shouldn't be stock picking because most people are not good at it. And you would make exponentially more just working and investing into the S&P 500. See, GameStop's a very speculative investment for me, personally, over the next 10, 20, 30 years. I'm expecting GameStop to outperform the S&P. That's the bet. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. For 99.9% of people, you're better off just working and investing in the S&P. I agree with that. And I'm also a GameStop degenerate, so if I'm agreeing with that, there must be some truth to it. Of course, some of us just do not want easy. For them, well, their God gave them GameStop. I never do easy, and I am 54, so that God has given me many more of GameStop's kind. Avanti 2001 and GameStop 2020 turned out well. Pillowtex 2002 and Tailored Brands, also 2020, not so well. From the beginning to the end of my professional money management career, I repeatedly did not do easy. These are not all I do, but on balance, I've been batting about .700, so I keep coming back. And there would be no GameStop if there was no Avanti. Trust me, I always do this. Avanti, third quarter of 2001, I looked up the stock of a company named Avant. I called it Avanti. Avanti made industry-leading electronic design automation, EDA software, for the design of semiconductors, and I was looking its way because the company had been found guilty of stealing source code from Cadence Systems. 5 of their executives went to jail. Shareholders dumped the stock viciously. It fell over 80%. I salivated. That overstates it. I thought it could be interesting. I called friends at Xilinx and Altera, 2 of the biggest fabless chip design companies of the time, also very local to me. I learned Avanti had best-in-class products, Apollo, Astro, the Milky Way database, but was not run by nice guys. I did all my research freeform in the Microsoft Notepad back then. Below are my first Avanti 10K skim review and my first Avanti conference call notes. I'm probably going to check those out later, but I just want to continue reading the article because it's a long article. The stock had fallen more or less 2 times free cash flow, and I started buying. I also called their CFO and arranged a call with a hard money financing firm from Notepad. My takeaway: CFO not savvy, AVNT not desperate, blank blank most interested in death spiral convertible. CFO doesn't know what a death spiral convertible is. I liked the stock. It had fallen to where it was trading at less than 1 year's free cash flow. It was heavily shorted, and well-known short seller Jim Chanos had been on the news pitching it as a short. It looked like Chanos was winning, but I kept buying. My thesis had nothing to do with the short interest. It was pure value, buying industry-leading product at a discount to free cash flow. I wrote to Jim Clark, one of my best friends, then at the Brandywine Asset Management, now a poobah, director of fundamental equity research at Franklin Templeton. I guess this is what he wrote him. 100 million in FC. Yeah, I'm not gonna read these. I'm just gonna read the article. Whatever, I'll read it. Avanti still makes me feel like I'm sleeping with the village slut. No matter how well my needs are met, I doubt I'll ever brag about it. The quote creep factor is off the charts. I half think that if I pushed Avanti too hard, I'd end up being terrorized by the Chinese mafia. Give me a call later. That's such a weird email. Warren Buffett and Ben Graham had their cigar butts, so now you know what rhymes with butts. I do not speak like that, therefore is memorable, and Jimbo told that story to Michael Lewis, so she found herself on the pages of a bestseller. Luckily for me, she did not make it into Hollywood. What's up, Rosh? Hope you're doing good. The first 3 to 4 years at Cyan Capital, it was the Wild West. My letters to investors never identified the investments. As a result, my investors left me alone and appreciated the returns they earned by leaving me alone. No one knew about the village sluts, and nobody was hurt by not knowing. Cyan's Capital, quote, black box, was simple fundamental equity research, and it worked great. That is not the way of the hedge funds today, so it is. Avanti worked out, as I wrote in the Cyan Capital's investors in early January 2002. Within the quote third quarter letter, I explained that the fund had been averaging down, purchased something, I don't know what that says. Averaging down in a stock purchase during the quarter, which has fallen tremendously out of favor over the past couple months. I further explained the future performance of this position will have absolutely no correlation with either the performance of the general market or further terrorist attacks. At quarter end, however, the position sat at a low point, trading at a valuation of just 3/4 the free cash flow of the trailing 12 months. And unlike many businesses that have faded rapidly during 2001, this business achieved record free cash flow yet again during the first half of 2001. I will note that the prospects for a recovery in this position during the fourth quarter are wholly in question. However, over the next year or two, and especially over the next 5 years, there is a very high probability of substantial gains as a result of this investment. Such gains would be largely irrespective of the status of any economic recovery or lack thereof. The fund continued to purchase this security during the first days of October, while the security remained downtrodden. As it turns out, we did not have to wait 5 years or even a year or two. The stock tripled off its quarter-end lows by late October. Moreover, during early December, a competitor agreed to buy all of the stock of the company at a price that amounts to nearly 7 times its price as of September 30th, 2001. That kind of sounds similar to GameStop, I suppose, but, Time will tell. The Body of Science Capital's 2001 annual letter is available as a PDF at the end of this article. If you're interested, the letter captures what I was thinking in late 2001, as stocks recovered vigorously from the 9/11 tragedy, which had shut down markets. Avanti was acquired by Synopsys for a bit less than $1 billion in stock, and that is the real reason Synopsys had a 20% stake in SMIC, which it has been selling off for the last 3 years. Today, SMIC has a market cap of $84 billion, so that stake in SMIC was originally Avanti's, would be worth $17 billion today. I was buying Avanti in September of 2001 at a market cap of nearing $100 million. My shares in Avanti, if I held all the Synopsys shares I received in the acquisition, today would be worth over $250 million and counting. This investment even now could go on for decades. Synopsys and Cadence are essentially a duopoly in the software used to design semiconductors. Amazing that the bottom, Avanti, was left for dead at less than 2/3 annual free cash flow. That was no cigar butt. The village slut had become the Bella of the ball, and today continues to be a very celebrated and distinguished life. That was an interesting story. Anyway, back to GME. 2018, I am running through my lists. I spot GME, do some preliminary work, and I exclaimed out loud for my wife to hear, "Eureka, I found another village slut." I started dabbling in the stock during the summer of 2018. I noted GME's call options were very active. This type of thing would play a large role later, and actually, no, I did not say that to my wife. As an investor, my thinking on GameStop was that it should have gone away a long time ago, but it had not. I wanted to know why. PC gaming had been a major threat for many years, but the console cycle was still strong. The prior console cycle had peaked in 2014 timeframe, and the next console cycle was delayed to 2020. My only animus, Joe, noted GME was in trouble back in 2014, but we had not shorted it. A note about Joe, I had hired Joe as a chemical engineer out of Lehigh University after he had interned with me back in 2003. He took a break when I did and enrolled with a full ride at Rutgers School of Law. The first year he was diagnosed with glioblastoma multiforme, an acutely lethal brain cancer. He fought the cancer thanks to miracle surgeries at UCSF and finished law school top of his class. I eagerly rehired him in 2013 upon his graduation from law school, which he attended purely to become a better investor. Regarding GameStop, Joe was still skeptical in 2018 as he continued chemo, battling recurrent cancer. But I was now locking in on it. In 2018, I was looking for that console refresh in 2020 to boost the stock. I was early, I knew, but I usually am, and I thought I saw a number of catalysts. The stock seemed undervalued to me, it had a slug of cash, and decent cash flows for being so late in the cycle. Summer of 2018, there was a lot of talk from brokerage houses about GME potentially going private in a leveraged buyout, a possible catalyst. The company was also looking to sell off its Spring Mobile, a chain of 1,284 AT&T wireless stores, for a decent amount of cash, and I saw that as a potential catalyst. The company had roughly $350 to $400 million in owners' earnings each of the prior 4 years, $800 million cash, and about a $1.3 billion market cap. It actually screened well and was still cheap. That is always a warning sign in today's world. You see, income had sagged in calendar year 2017, and that had brought weakness to the price. But I hypothesized it was typical late console cycle pessimism that would be remedied within a few years. Its significant cash flow and cash from the sale of Spring could play into a very big and consequential buyback, another possible catalyst. Still, I was not very convinced in the thesis. I kept the position small through 2018. Inventories were building in a bad way. They did sell off Spring Wireless for $700 million cash and a giant accounting loss later that year. And with that sale and surprisingly large fourth quarter inventory liquidation cash jumped to 1.6 billion, about the level of its market cap. Activists arrived, but not as the cavalry, whatever, they might have been. Permit Capital Enterprise Fund and Hestia Capital Partners on March 13th, 2019, had sent a letter to GameStop's board following up a prior February letter. We are long-term stockholders in the company, Permit since 2011 and Hestia since 2012. Additionally, GameStop represents the largest holding for both funds due to our belief that the company is dramatically undervalued and has significant upside potential. We are not typically activist investors. However, the board's lack of meaningful response following Hestia's February 12, 2019 open letter to the board, a link that can be found here, and Hestia's considerable efforts to engage with the board have driven us to group together and speak publicly now. It is our goal to work constructively with the board to address ongoing value destruction at the company. However, this letter fails to elicit an acceptable response. We are prepared to take our proposals directly to stockholders and nominate directors for election at the company's 2019 annual meeting. The company recently announced plans to retire certain of its debt and approved a new share repurchase authorization, which appears to be in response to the February 12th letter. However, these measures do not go far enough in scale or commitment to result in meaningful change for stockholders. In order to reverse the company's prolonged history of value destruction, we believe it is imperative that the board be immediately refreshed with new independent directors with relevant experience to focus on optimizing business, returning capital to stockholders, rebuilding company leadership, and assessing the failed sale process. What's up, Varley? How you doing, bro? I had also been asking the company to do buybacks, but with almost all the catalysts that I had expected played out, I sold my GME position to zero during the second quarter of 2019. I was puzzled at the relentless selling pressure in the face of seemingly good news, and decided maybe there was something I did not understand. I had relatively small losses and took them. Interesting. The stock kept falling, and then on June 5th, the stock crashed from $7.82 to $5.04 on bad earnings, an initially confusing steep drop in the cash balance. Immediately on June 7th, GameStop responded by announcing a modified Dutch auction tender for 12 million shares, roughly 12% of shares then outstanding, at a cash purchase price of not more than $6 a share and not less than $5.20 a share, $1.26 adjusted for splits. The stock closed at $5.02 on June 7, 2019. I was interested again. A modified Dutch auction tender involves shareholders naming their price within a range, and the company chooses the lowest price within that range at which it can buy all 12 million shares. 48 million shares today adjusted for splits. I thought the stock would fall after the Dutch auction, and I was not happy with the amount of shares being bought back. I wrote only to myself as Joe was not doing well. GameStop announces intention to launch a modified Dutch auction tender offer. This should keep GME in this range until July 10th. I figure I might buy back in at some point, but not soon, and this buyback is 1/5 the size originally contemplated. So clearly they had heard from shareholders that they need to do buybacks, and they responded with this. And that is what happened. The stock stayed in a range, and then weakened after tender was over. All expected. Here I put 2019 into an anachronistic chart post-split, so you can see the prices and volumes on today's terms. Now that's interesting. What's up, Hugh G? On July 15th, 2019, I bought back into GME with both hands and made it one of my larger positions. I had a brand new thesis. Yes, I brought along most of the points of the prior thesis, and I had been eyeing their hard assets such as real estate, thinking of sale leasebacks as sort of a cash. Those amounts do not look like a lot, but the market cap was only about 400 million. It had over $500 million in cash, and I was Sherlock Holmesing every nook and cranny of extra expense or hidden assets or liabilities. I also took aim at their corporate jet. They do disclose the plane in their Def 14A form, still it needs to go. However, the new thesis, in addition to apparent undervaluation, regarded a potential catalyst in the high short interest. 74% of the stock's outstanding shares were shorted, and that was rising fast. I felt a buyback of size could work magic. They had retired 12% of their shares in response to earlier pressure from both me and Hestia and Permit. I thought they had room to do more, and more importantly, might be amendable to doing more. GameStop had unusually high volume during that summer, and that could help a buyback of size get done quickly. Another way of think of 1/3 of share, 30 mil, were tendered in the Dutch auction over a month in which 236 million shares traded, 2.4x the outstanding share count. Who is tendering? Brand new shareholders? Typically, it would be institutions that can't easily sell in the open market, but the open market gave a lot of liquidity to sellers. 236 million shares were bought. It's extraordinary the numbers here in many ways. A massive amount of the share base turning over with increasing speed got me thinking and triggered my big buy on the 15th of July. I had been invested in Overstock.com over a decade prior when naked short selling became a very big and controversial concern. Very high volume, many alleged comes with naked short selling, more on this later. I also took time to assure my whole team that I wasn't crazy. So you all know, I am not just a moth to flame, I do not think. I visited a GameStop store to make sure I was not crazy. It did not work. Even the stuff that was not on sale looked like it should be on sale. On July 28, 2019, I wrote to GameStop's board of directors, focusing on the opportunity to buy back a massive portion of their company very quickly due to the high volume. Below is an excerpt. That's actually interesting to think about. Very interesting. Could be a reason why they're not doing buybacks right now, because if you ever get massive volume again, they could do it all in like one day. If that's even a goal. I don't even know if that's a goal, but or even if it would be useful. It's a totally different investment now, but pretty interesting to think about that. We suggest you will never find an easier or safer opportunity to double or triple GameStop's earnings per share, while increasing tangible book value per share by more than 100%. This may be accomplished simply by completing the 300 million share buyback the board authorized earlier this year. Given the market cap of GameStop at 362 million as of July 26th, completing the authorization would retire about 2/3 of GameStop's outstanding shares. This would triple earnings per share, as a denominator would be 1/3 as large. The numbers are striking and demand action. As of July 15th, 2019, Bloomberg reports short interest in GameStop stock at 66.9 million, basically. This is about 74% of the 90 million outstanding GameStop shares. Again, per Bloomberg, as of July 26, 2019, S&P Capital IQ as of July 26th reports GameStop has the highest short interest as percentage of outstanding shares among all common stocks trading in the United States at a price of greater than a penny per share, and it is not close. We do not recommend public comments or disparagement of short sellers. In our view, shorts are part of a healthy market. However, stocks with high short interest tend to have high volume relative to the shares outstanding, and GameStop is no different. To an extent, this enhances the current opportunity. Interesting. To be honest, I believed that because of the book and movie, my name and that of Cyan would potentially create a stir among shareholders and possibly even management. Perhaps I thought they would take this suggestion seriously. And then tragically, Joe passed away August 4th, 2019. Rest in peace, Joe. You were one of the greatest intellects this world has seen. Life cut far too short. I still pray for his kids. 10 days after Joe's passing, I returned from the funeral in New Jersey. I sat down at my desk, paused for no small reflection, and started buying more GameStop shares. The letter stimulated many emails from GameStop shareholders, most of which I ignored facetedly, as I did not want to form a group under SEC rules. If I, and even one other shareholder combined for over 5% of the shares, and we did not file a Schedule 13D, we'd be subject to SEC enforcement actions. So when Keith Gill emailed me, he was just another GameStop shareholder to avoid. I ignored it like all others. I cannot regret it because I was in that mode. I did not know who he was or that the Keith Gill had emailed me until the SEC investigation later in 2021. Interesting. Very interesting. This is Keith's email. Dear Mr. Burry and team, thank you for writing the open letter to the board of Gme. As a deep value investor, I share your views wholeheartedly, especially with regard to the board's inaction over the past few months in the face of an absurdly low share price. I'm a CFA chart holder with roughly 10 years of experience as an independent investor, and I haven't seen anything like this before. As you know, usually such price action characterizes companies that are on their way to bankruptcy. Indeed, technical analysis has benefited me the most by steering me clear of such companies. Yet these past few months, I find myself averaging down into the equity and leaps of a company with one of the ugliest POS charts I've ever seen. It's times like these where my value-first mentality manifests most clearly. A month later, unbeknownst to me, Keith Gill launched his Roaring Kitty on YouTube. He began posting his GME thesis and talking it up in August 2019. I engaged with the company after the first letter, but it was superficial, and I did not get the sense I would get the action I wanted. I agreed to a short interview with Tay Kim at Barron's. Big short investor Michael Burry now going long on GameStop. I don't know if I think this is just the introduction to it. I don't think that's the actual article. He probably has the actual article, but it says with GameStop stock down so much this year, Burry thinks an opportunity time for the company to buy back its shares. He noted there be mechanical selling by quant-oriented funds because of the new lease accounting guidelines that went into effect earlier this year. The new guidelines drove GameStop's leverage ratios higher, he says, while nothing has changed fundamentally. Technical factors driving the stock to lows has created an opportunity for substantial buybacks at below private market prices, Burry said. There's no better use of capital than buybacks. Scion letter noted the short interest for GameStop represented more than 60% of the outstanding shares. On August 26th, I sent another letter to the board of GameStop. Excerpt below, maybe because of Joe's passing in the interim, I was in a fighting mood. Scion calls on chairman of the board, Daniel D. Mateo, to request the resignation of the 4 longtime board members listed below: Jerome L. Davis, Gerald Shapansky, Lawrence Zalevi, Stephen Koonin. GameStop does not need ghosts of the past protecting a legacy of poor capital allocation and thin oversight at this point in time. These 4 directors oversaw and rubber-stamped the ill-fated transformation of GameStop from the leading global physical video game retailer into a global family of specialty retail brands by building online and digital platforms and expanding the company's efforts beyond the video game category to include a portfolio of AT&T Wireless and Apple Technology retail brands through its acquisitions of Spring Mobile and Simply Mac. As stated in GameStop's Form Def 14A filed on May 12, 2017, the board appears to have fiddled while Rome burned. Back in 2014 and 2015, there were assets and strategies available to GameStop directly within its wheelhouse. Instead, Amazon and others with more insight took advantage and burglarized GameStop's wheelhouse, while GameStop focused on the diversification transformation. Several of the board of directors started buying shares during September, perhaps in response to my media and letter campaigns. I was monitoring trading in GameStop closely. I monitored the stock for signs of buybacks, and I watched patterns companies cannot buy back stock from 30 minutes before the close, for instance. I deduced GameStop was buying back stock, and they were doing it through Merrill Lynch. I used Excel to record in real time both the buyback and the effects on Scion's ownership percentage on excerpt below. I'm not going to go through that, but for example, my 3.1 million shares were 5.37% of outstanding based on this running tally, but I was still officially under 5% from the SEC's point of view. GameStop arranged for its executives to fly to California to meet with me. Before that happened, I was contacted by Ryan Cohen in early October 2019. Ah, our boy. Hi, Dr. Burry. Hope this message finds you well. My name's Ryan Cohen. I'm the founder and former CEO of Chewy. I'm also a large holder of GameStop and have enjoyed hearing your thoughts in recent interviews. I'd love to jump on a call and talk about the company with you. Best, Ryan. Ryan and I talked for about 2 hours, mostly not about GameStop at all, since neither of us wanted to form a group under SEC rules. I enjoyed the talk, which went in many directions. I liked Ryan a lot. Ryan struck me as a deep value investor. He explained he takes very big positions in weights. The Wells Fargo investment at the time seemed like it would be a long wait due to the asset cap, and he did not care. This is partly the freedom of not running money for others. Personally, I hold stocks a lot longer than I do when running a hedge fund. It's just the nature of the beast, and many other managers are the same way. I actually really agree with that. The account I manage, I don't really like being a GameStop holder in it. That's why I trade so frequently, but I just, I feel the same. Like, I don't really care what happens. I'm going to keep buying when I have money, and we'll see where the future takes us. But Ryan struck me as a more patient than most. Ryan seemed young. I believe he possibly had the temperament to be the next Buffett, but I did not get to know him that well. We did not talk again. I was surprised when he took the stake and position he did. I met with GameStop management on October 21st of 2019, and I discovered both George Sherman and Jim Bell were veterans. Otherwise, the meeting did not achieve much. I liked them as people. As a result, Hestian Permit and then my pressure, GameStop bought back 38.1 million shares during fiscal year 2019. The average price, just $5.21 a share. That is $1.30 today, adjusted for split. 37% of the company's shares retired in 1 year at $1.30. Shareholders today should appreciate that. At the time, I was satisfied. The stock did nothing. Yeah, that's awesome. There was no short squeeze, and the very high volume continued. Throughout 2020, average volume was about 15 million shares a day, a little less than 25% of shares outstanding. In today's terms, that would be 60 million shares a day. The short interest in GameStop trended up through 2019, and I remained at a high level throughout 2020. In March 2020, GameStop announced some board changes that followed my recommendations. Let's see. Also, every single member I requested to retire is retiring. All four, Jerome, Gerald, Lawrence, and Steven, as well as the chairman. Another board member is retiring as well, and they're adding 3. Jerome is not leaving until June 2021, so the board will increase in size, then shrink, with a net change from 11 to 9. Oh, -2 from 11 to 9. I just spoke with the CEOs and CFOs, and apparently they did do this in response to my requests. They wanted to make sure I knew I was heard. Pretty crazy versus what it took to get any changes during Scion Capital days. This was a non-event as to any short or long thesis dynamics. Short interest remained at all-time highs, and the stock did not react. In fact, in April 2020, the stock fell to a new low of $2.57. 64 cents today. It was interesting, though, as J.K. Sinmack, the CEO of PetSmart at the time, joined the board, as well as a former Nintendo president and former Walmart US CEO joined the board. But J.K. was interesting because of the potential connection between J.K. and Ryan Cohen. PetSmart had bought Chewy in May 2017 for $3.35 billion. Ryan ran Chewy until March 2018, and JK arrived as CEO in June of 2018. I was minorly thrilled at the board additions and the resignations. I never spoke to Ryan about JK, however. I continued to hold my position. GameStop's attention shifted to strengthening the balance sheet and reducing debt with cash flow. I agreed with that. There was a little dust-up with the board, Scion and another activist during the summer of 2020, but not relevant here. On August 28th, Ryan Cohen's firm RC Ventures filed a Form 13D with the SEC. At the time of the filing, there were 65 million shares outstanding. Ryan owned 5.8 million of them, and I controlled 3 million. I was just below the filing threshold on purpose. I had already made my splash a year earlier to no real impact on the price. I did not want to go over 5%. I also traded a portion of my position around, something I do when stocks are in the doldrums for a while, and did not want to have to file after every trade. Ryan was well above the threshold with a purpose. The D in Form 13D, as opposed to 13G, meant Ryan was free to influence management. As well, that was his money, and there was a lot more of it. My firm was never that big because I did not market it. Chewy.com had IPO'd a little over a year earlier. I imagined he was coming with another big bet, and with his patience in tow, Gme shares jumped over 20% the next trading day. Ryan was 35. The average age of the millennial retail trader was, you guessed it, 35. Chewy.com was a big beneficiary from COVID. Retail traders might not have made it a meme stock, but they either owned pets or knew someone who did. In 2020, millennials were 32% of all pet owners. The pandemic puppy became a thing. It was as if COVID was created for Chewy.com's IPO lockup expiry. That's pretty interesting. Wow. What? That's actually insane. That's an insane suggestion. The increasingly frenzied speculation over Ryan's motives hit another level with his November 16th letter, badgering GameStop into a new technology-forward direction. Ryan's letter stopped short of recommending a comprehensive strategy, but made clear the company needed to become more technologically with the times. He intended to push the company in that direction. Taking the right steps in 2020 and 2021 can enable GameStop to own a bigger share of the market when estimated industry sales explode to more than $200 billion per year in 2023. We contend the company's sales should be growing at least in line with the market, not going in the opposite direction. Significantly upgrading e-commerce can provide for greater revenue capture across larger gaming catalogs, digital content and community experiences, online trade-ins, streaming services, and esports. We urge GameStop to adopt the right roadmap to create value creation now. RC Ventures hopes this letter provides the board with a clear sense of GameStop's addressable challenges and clear opportunities. We have stopped short of outlining a detailed turnaround plan in this correspondence because the onus is on the board and Mr. Sherman to do their jobs and produce a viable strategy. In this spirit, we urge you to quickly provide stockholders with a credible and publicly available roadmap for cost containment, prioritizing profitable retail locations and geographic markets, and building the e-commerce ecosystem gamers deserve. Please be advised that RC Ventures is not interested in receiving a lone seat on GameStop's 10-member board. It is not enticing to become an isolated stockholder advocate on a board that has overlooked years of digital revenue opportunities and presided over massive value destruction without assuming full accountability. We want GameStop's leaders to do their job and implement a strategy for bringing the company into the 21st century. Sincerely, Ryan Cohen. The first 3 days of trading after the letter, the stock did not move at all. Heard inside Cyan's offices, everything Cohen suggests is either already being done or highly speculative in nature. I did not say it, but I agreed. Then the stock took off. And by month's end, Cyan was out. Coming to the end of 2020, I had carried my full GameStop position, 3 million shares plus or minus, through 16 plus months. Most of that time, I lent my shares out at very good rates, high double digits, which was lucrative and a big part of the trade. I did not believe I have ever earned so much simply being short a stock. Of course, far less than if. That's actually so interesting. The chart below represents Cyan's time holding GameStop as a top long position in the fund. Wow. Well, that's very interesting to think about. My average cost on those shares was $3.32, equivalent to 83 cents today. When it really started to run late 2020, I sold the position at an average price of roughly $13.50, $3.38. Wow, dude. Holy shit, Burry paper handed it, bro. Burry has paper hands. Burry's fucking origami hands folded, bro. His origami hands just folded. The short interest as a percentage of float when I exited was about 128%, not too different from what it had been for much of the prior year. Volume was rising, bringing down the days to cover ratio. The short interest, however, stayed elevated at its July 2019 through 2020 levels on into January 2021. I could have analyzed that situation better. I knew GameStop inside and out, and I thought I understood the volume, short interest, and other dynamics. However, I was blinded by what I saw as execution risk. As well, I am human. I had seen buybacks shrink shares by a third in the setting of 100% short interest, and the reorganizing of the board of directors, and the selling of Spring Wireless for cash in amounts of more than half the market cap, all were home run / slam dunk activist successes, with concrete results but zero impact on price or short interest. The narrative on GameStop was just that bad. I figured that had already been wrought was more concrete than a vague technology-forward makeover with a ton of execution risk. So I used Ryan's unveiling as an opportunity to close out. I had no idea what was coming. I had no idea that a roaring kitty existed. And I had no idea that a widely distributed gamma squeeze would thread the needle to become one of the only legal market corner. So I did not think more about it during the fourth quarter of 2020. I had other worries. We had dropped a very large separate account due to a management change on their end. That account was over 25% of our assets and required sales across the portfolio as we approach year's end. During 2020, we basically doubled their money, but no new money was coming in as I just did not market. Congratulations on the excellent year. You always thrive in chaos, and 2020 wasn't anything short of that. It's just his stats on his fund. The withdrawals came in from others as well. They needed cash to pay taxes on the gains. So I was in selling mode across my portfolio in November, December, and January, and therefore on the sidelines when, quote, it happened. The big short squeeze. About 50 or so days after Scion got out of GameStop, that ignominious crappy business that I thought was just GameStop, was the belle of the ball. The entire world could not take their eyes off her, and neither could I. On January 13th, 2021, she broke definitely out of the teens and touched almost $39 a share on 144 million shares, 576 million today adjusted for split, on a stock with 67 million shares outstanding. I did not believe I had seen that before. The stock then went sideways on falling volume for about a week. If I had not already sold, I would have sold that. At the peak, my years-long investments might have turned 12 million into $1 billion, but that was never a possibility. I also noticed those GameStop call options with crazy volume again. July of 2019, I had noticed call options trading as well as an abnormally high volume in the stock, both out of line with anything that came before. It was discussed here about 2,000 words ago, but in January 2021, volume was 10 times bigger on both share volume and call activity. The gamma squeeze. What was happening has been well described, but for those who have not heard it yet, I will go over it briefly. Retailer traders in the thousands, egged on by Roaring Kitty in online discussion, bought massive volumes of calls, orders of magnitude more than typical volume. The other side of that trade were market makers, hedge funds, prop desks. The two biggest by far were the market makers Citadel Securities and Virtue Financial. Those two have the capital required to sell that volume of calls. This is where the Greeks come in. It is not my game. I hate the Greeks, the symbols, not the people, but they played a big role. When Citadel or any market maker sells a call, it buys stock in the open market in an amount such that the entire position is delta neutral. Delta reflects the sensitivity of options to stock price movements. A delta of 1.0 is unity, or 1-to-1 movement between stock and option. Gamma is the slope or rate of change of delta. As gamma increases, it makes intuitive sense that it would be harder to maintain a balanced delta neutral position over time. Gamma fights attempts at delta neutrality. When a market maker or dealer sells a call option, it becomes short gamma. This is normally not a problem. It buys stock and manages towards delta neutrality. But the coordinated buying of calls by thousands of retail traders all at once created systemic gamma exposure across all dealers at the same time, leading to a systemic rise in short gamma. This made it very hard to maintain delta neutrality. To restore neutrality, all the dealers had to buy stock at the same time. And that is why a big part of what happened in GameStop stock is called a gamma squeeze. The success of these retail traders was not lost on others, and the lightning spread. Not just GameStop, but other stocks, AMC, BlackBerry, Hertz, and even Tesla. I've never heard anyone explain it this way. I think that was a good explanation. You know, usually you just get, it's a gamma squeeze, but he went into a good amount of detail of why it happened. The cornered market. Fairly quickly, I realized I was watching a legal market corner. Traditionally, a corner is when a group of investors buy up enough supply of a commodity or investment security to artificially drive prices higher, and in many cases, squeeze shorts. Very common in the days of railroad stock bubble. Yes, there were shorts back then, a lot of them, not sure how many were naked. With GameStop, specific forums online with pseudonymous leaders actively promoted the gamma squeeze as a way to get the shorts, and it was given the cape of righteousness, retail sticking it to Wall Street. Wall Street, of course, spends all its days sticking it to each other, but that is populism for you. If a hedge fund or group of hedge funds did the same thing, executing a continuous days or weeks long gamma squeeze, it would have been illegal. If a couple of non-Wall Street people had the capital to do it, same thing, not legal. Distribute the coordination broadly enough, and it becomes just a free market, which in turn makes the corner pointless with no advantage. However, say a few thousand do it, maybe as a collective, they find the sweet spot of distributed coordination, where it works like a corner, and it is by default legal simply because enforcement is impossible. The market asymmetry continues with no enforcement, and the corner works. The SEC just said, no thank you, carry on, carry on. Kudos to retail for threading that needle. I do not believe that this has been seen before. Once done, it spread like lightning. COVID gave retail traders personal time at exactly the point Roaring Kitty and Ryan Cohen took the mic. Then came the COVID checks. Naked short sellers, ? Going back 20 years, naked short sellers entered my field of vision when I was long overstock and took an activist stake. It was contentious. I had nothing to do with it, but I was actually sued by a short seller for being long the stock. Interesting. His name rhymes with Cohodes. So I know how dirty this whole game can get, but contrary to popular belief, I believe most of that 140% short position in GameStop was not naked shorts selling, but rather simple legal layering of trades. When a stock is borrowed from an owner and shorted to a buyer, who then in turn lends the shares for shorting, a cycle is created and repeated. And if demand for shorting is high, the cycle will become a fairly elegant and long sequence. Most of the exposure in that chain/sequence are actually synthetic positions. Sounds terrible, does it not? But it is all perfectly legal and correct. Every one of those transactions in the sequence is recorded and properly settled. The wiring of the market deals with just fine during normal times. It would take a very big volatility event to upset the apple cart. The humans working this are not idiots. GameStop was unprecedented, though. All that layering, all those synthetics, had to be unwound with urgency at the same exact time. The beautiful sequencing broke down. Dealers have temporarily exemptions to be nakedly short, which also is not usually a problem, but for when a correlation event like GameStop happens, this is what happened with GameStop. All that call buying by retail created the aforementioned gamma squeeze, and the layering became a mess. It was resolved by panic buying. Professional fund managers and short sellers were caught out in this way. Identifiable real shares became scarce, and the urgency to cover grew. No shorts had to be naked for this to happen, and I'm sure there were some, but naked short selling was not a prime factor. Oh, Reddit would say otherwise. Reddit would say otherwise. Plus CS le meme. So there was a lot going on inside the big short squeeze. It was spectacular. It was hilarious. It was tragic in turn. Middle of 2021, I thought it was less fun. Meme stocks had become an almost sober investment strategy, egged on by newly celebrated celebrity CEOs. 2021 is when NFTs soared in value along with watches, shoes, just about everything. Several, shall I say, village sluts were partying like it's 1999 and thinking of selling billions of dollars of stock in their beauty, sure to depreciate. GameStop sold over $1 billion in stock at $225 a share. Absolutely a smart move, but man, I just thought retail was going to be shredded on this meme thing. Just mind-blowing this is happening versus my mindset for almost 2 years, and retail bought it up. They sold directly into the market. GameStop jumps after raising $1.1 billion in stock sales. The video game retailer sold 5 million shares via Jefferies. Shares surge as much as 11% in pre-market trading Tuesday. This is just an old article. GameStop Corp climbed in pre-market trading Tuesday after announcing that it completed an at-the-market offering program by selling 5 million shares for a total of $1.13 billion via Jefferies. Shares of the video game retailer surged as much as 11% to $223 in pre-market trading after the announcement. It will use the net proceeds from the offering for investing in growth initiatives and maintaining a strong balance sheet, the company said. GameStop shares were sold for an average of 225.2 based on Bloomberg's calculations. Above the stock's 50-day moving average of 193.09, the total amount of shares sold represents the full capacity of its ATM authorization. It had announced on June 9th that it planned to sell as much as 5 million shares via an ATM offering. I had been on the sidelines, but I felt I should speak up. I gave an interview to Barron's in late June, honestly trying to warn people. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, thank you guys for all being here. Appreciate you. This was July 1st, 2021. A crash is coming for meme stocks, Michael Burry says. Long before retail investors on Reddit flooded online forums theorizing about GameStop, investor Michael Burry spotted an out-of-favor stock that was misunderstood. Now Burry says he sees shades of 1999 and 2007, periods of other market frothiness. I don't know when meme stocks such as this will crash, but we probably do not have to wait too long, as I believe the retail crowd is fully invested in this theme, and Wall Street has jumped on the coattails. We're running out of new money available to jump on the bandwagon. Burry, whose successful bet against the housing market ahead of subprime mortgage collapse made him a prominent character in the book and the movie Big Short, believes that meme stocks are the latest Wall Street trend that could wind up hurting regular investors. He said that in 1999, everyone making money in .com stocks believed it would continue. In 2007, those making money, quote, leveraged to hilt in multiple homes, thought that would continue too. Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. A lot of people did get wrecked. People wonder why I do this, but if there is one thing I wish I could have done, it was to have effectively warned or spoken about what was happening in 2005 to 2007. I think I did myself no favors not smiling during that walk in front of the camera. Burry forever. I was early, but by much less than I usually am. AMC collapsed from there. Others peaked a month or two later, but by 2023 they had all fallen, and I thought the meme trade was dead. I hope some listened. In any event, here is GameStop in 2025 with a market cap near 10 billion. On the surface of it, given my history with GameStop, that number is stunning. Not only relative to what I was paying for the stock and what the company was worth just a few years ago. If I had held GameStop this entire time, my investment in GameStop would be worth $250 million, roughly the same amount my Avanti investment have become over 25 years in the hands of a very good duopolist in the semiconductor industry. GameStop has been run for some time now by Ryan Cohen. His tenure has not been perfect, yet the company has recently produced significant free cash flow, has a ton of cash on the balance sheet, some very asymmetric convertible debt, and a business model that has been revamped to be more online, more digital, more crypto, more collectibles, and fewer stores. As a melting ice cube and a capital structure with some optionality, GameStop is roughly as I approached it in 2018, except it is only 16% shorted. All the numbers are 10 times bigger, and Ryan is running it, for better or worse. Those who know me, as well as those who read my posts so far here on Cassandra Unchained, know that I believe history often lends a valuable perspective to analysis. This post is clearly along those lines. It is a foundation post. These posts cover subjects that would feel at home in a book if I were to write one. They are meant to provide both a foundation and a reference for future idea posts, which are analyses of current opportunities. This whole saga was a valuable lesson for me, and I hope for some of you. The second and final post in this GameStop mini-series will be an idea post, my breakdown of GameStop as an investment today. Until next time. Wow. That's gonna be a good article. This was great. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. I love that. That was a good article. That was a good article. Pages from Scion Q4 2001. Oh man, there's more. There's more to read. I don't want to read this. I think he's just talking. I don't think this is about GameStop. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. And thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. There are a few more things to check out, but I don't think they're GameStop related. I don't think that's GameStop related. There's an idea. Third quarter, expand the fund has been averaging down in a stock purchase during the second quarter. Falling tremendously. Future performance of this position will have a correlation. Horseless the security. Oh, so this is about GameStop, but we already pretty much read about this. Okay. Yuki. Pretty interesting, though. That was a good, detailed story. You don't get that a lot in the GameStop world. A lot of people, just make things up and don't give you a very good... Most people just have terrible analysis, so I appreciate Michael Burry's autistic analysis. It's great. When an autist is doing analysis for you, you better listen. Those autists, they're different, bro. They're different. They're different. Run it through AI? Nah, I'm good. I would just read it if I was interested in it. A lot of people suggest that. A lot of people suggest running things through AI, and I just don't really understand it, because if you're actually interested in what's being written, just read the whole fucking thing. Like, straight up. Like, just read the whole thing. A summary of this article is useless from my perspective. I think a summary of this article would be completely useless. Let's see. This is their letter to the board. I don't think I've ever checked this out. But I'll let you guys read that stuff on your own, because I don't really want to read it. I'll skim through it later, I'm sure. But I've read enough. That was how long was that? We've been streaming for an hour, so that was probably pretty long. That was 55 minutes? Holy shit, I fucking locked in, bro. That did not feel like 55 minutes. If you invested 50K or more, better read it. I disagree. I think the less is more in investing. Less is more. The less you're doing, the more likely you are to succeed, I feel like, in the stock market. Personally. Took me an hour and a half to read that bitch. Yeah, I mean, it would definitely take longer if I was reading it myself, because I would probably sit and think about things more, but, you know, I'm mostly just reading it for the video. For the most part, we already know all this stuff. It's just nice having someone who pays attention to detail that actually, writes about it, instead of some fucking Redditors who really don't know anything. Did us all a favor? Well, thank you. Thank you for listening. There wouldn't, I wouldn't be doing this if nobody listened. Do I think he's gonna buy in again? I mean, just judging by this last sentence here, he's gotta be building a position. Like, just judging by this. Second and final post in this GameStop mini-series will be an idea post, my breakdown of GameStop as an investment today. As an I don't feel like he would be writing an article like that if he wasn't buying it. Unless he thinks it's overvalued. Maybe he thinks it's overvalued. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting if he thought it was overvalued. I'm excited for his next article, because it's gonna be, man. Like I said, having an autist, bro. Michael Burry's been in the market for, I don't even know how long, 40, 50 years probably, and he's autistic. Like, this guy, bro. His analysis is so fucking good. I love it. I love his analysis. So I'm excited. Even if he says it's overvalued, I don't give a shit. If he says it's overvalued, I won't care. Like, I'm just going to appreciate the analysis of someone who knows exponentially more than I do about the stock market. I'm just a fucking degenerate. Like, in reality, I know a lot about day trading, and I know a lot about the stock market, but Michael Burry is way smarter than I'll ever be. I am way too lazy to have that level of analysis. I am way too lazy, bro. Not meant to replace anything, just enhance and slash help. I mean, I just don't feel like it would help. Am I making a video clip? Yeah, I will. For sure. The video clips do way better than the stream. I kind of regret like those past streams, like when I read all the Roaring Kitty posts and stuff. I should have made those videos. I shouldn't have left them as streams. Videos do. I don't know. YouTube. It seems like YouTube suggests videos more, just from the analytics. Streams don't really get suggested. Like you do a stream, it gets suggested for like 2 or 3 days after, and then honestly, it doesn't. Nothing. Nothing happens. Like you get clapped. You're gonna repost. God bless you, Hugh G. God bless you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hopefully we don't get attacked by bots, but I would appreciate that. We can't read. That's why we're here. I mean, that was an hour. Not many people are just gonna sit down and read for an hour. You know, it's but people will sit down and listen for an hour. Never know for sure. He stated its same value as 2018, but with Ryan Cohen in charge and making a reference to R.C. Buffett, no doubt in my mind he's building a position. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's a good point. Where did he say that? Yeah, as right here, as a melting ice cube and a capital structure with some optionality, GameStop is roughly as I approached it in 2018, except it's only 16% shorted. All the numbers are 10 times bigger, and Ryan is running it for better or worse. But that 16% short, they could be like so underwater potentially. You know, obviously this is pure speculation, but these 16% short could be so underwater that it's more like 40 or 50% maybe, you know, maybe. You never know. But a lot of that short interest is from the convertible notes, because at the beginning of the year, I think you were only at 12%. If I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Let's go back to an old stream. Let's go back to a stream from the beginning of the year. I should be able to, because I used to run through the same like routine every day, so should be easy to find. Isn't that crazy? We've been streaming for a year now. I mean, you know, I've been streaming for like 5 years at this point, but we've been streaming about GameStop for over a year. I guess my first GameStop stream was June. Crazy. But streaming almost every day for a year, it's pretty solid. Let's see. When I had the same... Holy shit! My hair's so short. I'm wearing the same fucking jacket. Look at this shit. I literally got that jacket right here, bro. Wearing the same jacket. GameStop was trading at $32. $32. Damn, we got the same jacket and everything. All right, let's see if I can find the short interest in this bitch. I also could have, I was doing a lot of fundamental analysis back here. So I also maybe might not have checked stuff like, I might not have had my routine down back then. Let's see. It looks like a lot of chart watching. It looks like. Yeah, I was, it looks like I was doing a lot of probably a lot of insider buying and shit back here. So I probably didn't even care about the short interest. Yeah, I was doing insider buying. Crazy. It's crazy how much the stream has changed. I used to just sit and do insider buying and just research companies all day. And now I don't know what the fuck we do. Now I don't even know what this stream is anymore, if I'm being completely honest. I just come on here and you guys show up and we do whatever's happening. That's like basically all this stream is now. The stream at the beginning of the year was exceptionally more valuable. I'll tell you that. I can say that for sure. The stream at the beginning of the year was way more valuable.
Why did Amazon send me 20,000?
Stream now.
Because I
don't know how valuable the stream is now, besides maybe for entertainment. One day your hair's gonna be gray and we'll still be here? I hope so. I hope so, bro. I really do. I really hope so. If I can stream for that long, God is good, bro. God is good. I was showing off my gambling video. Fucker, bro. The gambling video. Let's see. I was like, I never checked the short interest. I swear it was at 12% at the beginning of the year, though. I just can't find it. Whoa, is this when Moose became mod? Damn, we had a Discord? What a terrible idea. This might have been when you became mod, Moose. This might have been it. It's either for mod or for giveaway or something. Interesting. Probably a giveaway. The Discord was short-lived. Yeah, it's for all of our safety though. There's some fucking weirdos out there, you know? There's some weirdos. And though we're all adults, we can make our own decisions. I just don't know how good of an idea it is to message people outside of this stream. You know? I really don't. I don't think it's a good idea. I think there's a lot of evil people out there, especially when it comes to like an environment like this where there's money involved. It's just better to have that barrier, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this though. Let's check February. I don't think I'm going to sit and look for this if I can't find it anytime soon. I might not even have looked up the short. I mean, I had to have. It's probably just like such a short clip, I can't even see it. Because I usually just like check it and then it's done. Whatever. I'm pretty sure it was 12% though. Whatever. I was wondering that he typed. I joined right around this time last year. Really? That's dope. That's like right when we started the stream then. We go up and down. Lots of prayers back then. Oh yeah, for sure. Lot of geniuses back then. We used to have a lot of geniuses come into the chat. We used to have a lot of geniuses. Corey won't cut his hair till the price hits 32 again. I mean, it's getting pretty long, bro. It's getting pretty annoying. I don't know how long I'm gonna grow my hair out, but hopefully something happens sometime. And maybe we can cut it. Still waiting on my 69K refund. Could be when Hugh G got the Gme. I think that's what it was. Did you think back then you would have ended up where you are now? I don't know. Kind of, honestly. I didn't think I would have as many people consistently come to the stream as I do. I think it's very, I think it's come a long way. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. I never thought I would build like a community like this, you know? Because the first time I tried streaming, like, yeah, we had a community, sort of, you know, had a few people that came in every single day. But it wasn't really the same. It wasn't really the same. Like this community we built this time around. Fuck, we've been through a lot with each other, bro. You guys have seen me at my worst, probably. You guys have seen me at my best and at my worst. You know, back when I used to stream, I didn't even have like the webcam, so it was just a lot different. But if I'm being really honest, I thought the stream would have more viewers. Not, you know, I'm very impressed by the amount of consistent people that come in. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy how many people we have here that come here every single day. But I thought I would have more like passive viewers, if that makes sense. I thought I would have more people that just come in randomly for like 5 minutes and say what's up and then leave. But it's not really like that. It's more like every like couple of months or something, you'll have some GameStop thing happen and then you see all the old names that you've seen the past year. But those people never like stop in just to say what's up, you know? I thought I would have more of that. More people stopping in. But it's not really like that. A lot of people just want what they want out of me and then they leave. Which is fair, you know? I get it. That's how entertainment works. People want the quick buck. Yeah, that too. It's hard to be a GameStop investor in a world where everyone's a day trader. Everyone's fucking sports betting and flipping Pokemon, and it's tough to be a longer term investor in that type of environment. But the day will come. The day of reckoning will come. Maybe. You know, it's not guaranteed, but if the day ever comes where this investment actually works out again, oh man, it's gonna be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Sports betting's out of control. Yeah, the prediction market shit's crazy. But yeah, sports betting is crazy, bro. It's crazy how addicted people are to sports betting, and they're not even like good at it. I'm happy to anyone who has listened. Like, if anyone in here sports bets, I know Matt Romano. Anyone who's like listened to my strategy of sports betting, I can almost guarantee you've probably been profitable this past year. I'd be very surprised if you weren't profitable if you followed my sports betting strategy. But most people don't do that. Most people have like 10 bets for one fucking game. You know? They literally got like 10 bets for one game. I bet a lot of people be Burry with Gme, where they sold too soon and couldn't wait. Oh yeah. Anyone who bought when like Burry and Roaring Kitty did, I'm sure they didn't benefit from that full move. I can almost guarantee it. I would argue a majority of people bought on the way up and got trapped in the stock. And that's always been a theory of mine of why the stock doesn't go up, is because so many people are trapped in it. Anytime it does go up, you know, all those old people who are trapped, they sell out for break even or a small loss, maybe even a small profit. but that's always been a theory of mine. Is people are definitely trapped in this stock, and a lot of people are so like arrogant that they won't sell for a loss. I missed a bunch of streams just because there was a bunch of streams I wasn't learning / benefiting from. Yeah, I mean, it was like that for a while. But not, you know, I feel like a lot of the topics I like to research are new, you know? Like I like research, or like I like reading new news. I like reading new things. And, you know, there's not something exciting happening every single day. There's not something exciting happening every day. And it's hard for me to want to like research companies right now. Because every time I research a company, it always just goes back to GameStop. It's like, damn. Math always maths. The numbers will go in the favor on the longs. I just averaged down. Nice. That move got me a new truck and the ability to buy back in on house money. Fire. Fire. That's fire. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even the squeeze back in June, like, I didn't take full advantage of that. I got in at like $30 or something, and I just got lucky that I was able to flip out of it and average down for the past year and a half. You know, trade a little bit whenever there was upside. I just got lucky, honestly. I should be stuck with a $30 cost average, but my day trading skill benefited me for once in life. Never thought it would become useful, but it was very useful at that time. When the stock popped like that, you were trading prices you haven't seen for years. And it left so many like low volume areas and things to trade off of. It was actually very impressive how frequently I was able to like trade it. Even if it was for only like a 50 cent or dollar profit on the stock. You know, you buy 50 to 100 shares. That's not bad, you know. It was a crazy time, crazy time. Old streams were wild. Some of the old streams were wild, bro. Some of the old streams were bad. Some of the old streams were trash. If I'm just being brutally honest. Some of the old streams were absolute dog shit. And some of them were really good. Yeah, some of them were really good. I hope we all see the light at the end. Let's go. Let's go. I think it's just time. You know? Honestly, I've been thinking, like, there's going to be a point where this stock, like, doubles or triples again. And then they probably will do another at the money. I think there's going to be another opportunity to do a trade like that. A flip out like that. You know, where you're able to sell it like $30, $40, $50, $60 all the way up. And then they do that at the money. Drops to like 30. You know, 30 becomes the new floor. That's like kind of what I'm assuming is going to happen. But who knows, man? Who knows? Probably Lambo seasoning with long gray hair. I hope not. The stock pops. Hopefully warrants get exercised. Oh yeah, for sure. Shit, if the stock... the warrants are like a ticket to be able to take profits if you have a decent sized position. You know, if you're sitting on like a couple hundred warrants and the stock pops to like $40, $50, $60, that's going to give you... It's going to give you room to be able to sell at those prices. And then if the stock doesn't come back down, you can just exercise the warrants for $32 a share. And then if it does come back down, I mean, you took a bunch of profit. So like, yeah, those warrants were clutch. Those warrants were absolutely clutch if anything happens. Or if anything like June happens, where the stock 2 or 3x, well, I guess it popped from $10, so it like 6x'd, but if it ever pops from here to like 60 or 70, that'd be so sick. I bought too much on the 28, started with 19.99, average 2K. God, I got average down again. Friday can't come soon enough. F you, pay me so I can add Gme. Yeah, I think 23 is like around my average as well. But yeah, I've bought at higher prices too. I think I bought like 1,000 shares at like a really high price at one time. I don't really know because when I took that margin off my account, they grouped all my orders. So I don't really know like all my buys at this point. But honestly, like, I don't know, man. I'm just so bullish on the stock, but I don't know. I don't know what the future looks like. Crazy part of the warrants is there's a shitload of call options that contain warrants. Interesting times to come. Yeah, that's a good point. There's a whole brand new option spread just for the warrants. I mean, the way the internet acts, you would think this is the shittiest investment ever. And that's why I like it so much. The fact that people hate this investment so much is awesome. Honestly, it's fucking awesome. And maybe that's bias. I don't know if that's bias, but I love when people think I'm wrong. That's how I know, like, especially in sports betting, that's how I know I'm going to win. Like, when people think I'm wrong, that's just how you know. And maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, from my experience, when people think I'm wrong, I know I'm about to win. It's just a stock bet is completely different from a sports bet. It's completely different. Perhaps this is why Burry mentioned how crucial the options were to the gamma squeeze. I just don't know if you'll ever see something like that again, though. Who knows? Hey, peace out, Moose. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for always supporting the stream. Have a good rest of your day. I'm only trading the warrants and with the extra money buying more GME stock. That's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy. I've considered that strategy for sure. I just have so many shares. I just trade the shares, lower my cost average a little bit. But once the year ends, unless the stock goes up quite a bit, you're probably not going to see me doing any more trades. Like, once the year ends, I'm probably done trading the stock, honestly. I'm just going to ride. You know, unless it pops decent, then I'm kind of going to have no choice, but I don't plan on trading at all in 2026. I really don't. We're all wrong until we're not. Exactly. That's how these I mean, especially with a stock like GameStop, this shit can go up like 20-30% in a day. It's always a funny argument. Like, I've had like, there was this guy in my comments recently. It's like, the S&P does 10% a year. Top investors are lucky to get 15% return a year. It's like, bro, GameStop can literally go up 15% in one fucking day. Like, people are so, like, clueless, honestly. They're so clueless. It's like, good for you. You go ahead and make your 12% return on the S&P. the stock I'm investing in can potentially go up 12% in a fucking day, like in a couple hours. You know, we'll see. We'll see who ends up on top 10, 20 years from now. We'll see who ends up on top. But yeah, basically all the comments on the videos I've been posting are negative. Literally. It's kind of interesting. I like it. The last video I posted didn't do very well. It's kind of sad, but that's YouTube. And I'm posting like the shittiest videos ever. They're literally just stream clips. But yeah, pretty much all the comments on my YouTube videos are negative. Nobody has anything good to say. Some people have good things to say about GameStop, but majority of the sentiment is very negative. And that is, that's awesome to me. I love that. I love it. Not my comments. Sometimes you're pretty negative. Sometimes. Maybe not intentionally, but... But yeah, I don't know where we go from here. Gameshire Hathaway. Maybe. If not Gameshire Hathaway, a very interesting future business prospect. Power Packs in itself is interesting. Oh yeah, did you guys see PSA bought Beckett? I haven't read about that yet. Did you guys see this? You guys see this? You hear about this? You see this? You hear about this? PSA bought Beckett, or acquired Beckett, whatever. I don't know what article I want to read. I guess we'll do Yahoo Sports. Why not? Why not? PSA parent company Collectors acquires Beckett. I don't think this is good enough to make a video about, but... PSA parent company Collectors reached an agreement to acquire grading company Beckett, the company announced Monday. Beckett will remain an independent brand and continue to utilize its own operations, customer service, grading standards, marketplace, magazines, and price guides, Collectors said. I am pleased to share that the iconic Beckett is joining the Collectors family and will continue to operate as its own independent brand within our portfolio, Nat Turner, CEO of Collectors, said. The first card I ever submitted for grading was to Beckett, and I consider Collectors custodians of this important icon in the hobby. We believe that strong, well-supported brands help grow access to the hobby. Orders at PSA and Beckett are expected to be processed normally, and there are expected to be no changes in pricing as part of the acquisition. Sources told Collectors PSA and Beckett will not share staff for grading operations. Grading at the two companies will remain separate processes, and crossover grading will not be impacted. Founded by Dr. James Beckett, Beckett Media and Collectibles has been best known for its line of magazines and price guides, as well as Beckett grading services. Wow, it launched in 1999. Wow, I didn't know that. Beckett sold Beckett Media in 2005. Collectivist Holdings was announced as the new parent company for Beckett in December 2024, with the company overseeing Beckett as well as accessory maker Dragon Shield and card distributor Southern Hobby Distribution. Sources told Dragon Shield is not part of the acquisition. Beckett's acquisition is the second time Collectors has acquired a major trading card grading competitor. Collectors acquired SGC in February 2024 and has since been in the process of transitioning the company into a boutique grading brand. The acquisition arrived alongside the resignation of SGC president Peter Steinberg, with PSA president Ryan Hoge overseeing operations at both companies. According to the third-party grading tracker GemRate, PSA has graded more than 18.3 million cards so far in 2025. Among the other major card graders, CGC Cards has graded 4.7 million, SGC has graded 1.4 million, and Beckett has graded nearly 790,000. Of the four major card graders, CGC is the only company outside of the collector's umbrella. PSA, SGC, and Beckett combined for roughly 79% of the overall grading market. Damn! Collector made a monopoly, bro. That's crazy. They're controlling the market. I wonder if you'll ever get, with this acquisition, I wonder if you'll ever get like the option at GameStop to decide where you're going to send your card. That would be interesting, I think. I think that would be interesting if they did another thing like that, another partnership. And when you go why can't I think? When you go submit your card, you could choose whether to send it to PSA or send it to Beckett. Not too familiar with Beckett. Another company, I believe. Do I think Roaring Kitten still owns GME, and do you think Michael Burry bought GME? I'm sure Roaring Kitty still owns it. And Michael Burry probably, he could be buying. It's possible. I guess maybe we'll find out sometime. I don't know. He closed his fund, so I don't know how we're gonna find out, but we'll see. But I do believe Keith is still owning the stock, because what other stock would you own, realistically? Like, straight up. What other stock would you own? Unless, he's still value investing. It's possible. It's possible he's still value investing on the side and making small investments in other companies, but there's nothing else to invest in, literally. Like, if you're looking out decades, there's really not much else to invest in besides the top companies in the world that are already potentially overvalued. How long does Nat Turner have to buy GME? I think it's like 5 years or something like that. I think it's 5 years. Tilray? The only reason you're mentioning Tilray is because of the news like 3 days ago. If travel back a week ago, you weren't paying attention to weed stocks. Can almost guarantee it. Set up an interview with Burberry? Nah, Burry wouldn't do an interview with me. Larry Chang maybe would, but not Burry. Burry doesn't really do interviews. If Burry buys, I don't think we'll know unless he publicly announces that he did. Based on his paper, he won't buy enough to have to file. He also closed his fund too, so even if he did, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think... I think you're right, though. I don't know how much it matters if he buys or not, though. Realistically, maybe you'll have a little bit of hype in the moment, but I don't know how much. I don't know how much it really matters whether he buys or not. Lots of hype on it for some reason. BMNR. I don't know what that is. Bitmine immersion. Oh, it's crypto mining, I assume. It's because it's crypto and it's new. Just IPO'd a few months ago. Blockchain technology company. Yeah, that's not. Three full-time employees. Okay. What? This is valued at 13 billion? No fucking way. What is this dog shit? 13 billion with what? This thing, what is this? It won't even pop up. There we are. What is this? This thing is booty. Check out their 10K. Posted their 10K recently, so we can see. Oh, it makes money, at least. Oh, it's just a fucking crypto holding company. That's actually kind of interesting. Oh my. I don't know where they got, you know, I'd have to probably dive into more research to see how they got the money to buy 8.2 billion of digital assets. If they did it all through convertible notes, it's probably not that interesting. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish he would have posted the other article. Man. I want to read the other article. I want to see what he thinks about the stock now. You think Burry's ever been on Reddit or YouTube live streams? He's had to have come across this stream before. He probably gave it no consideration though. Yeah, no, I'm not someone Michael Burry would follow. I don't give data really. I just kind of read what's in front of me and have my opinions based off of making a lot of bets and doing a lot of trading. I don't think he would listen to me. So I'm sure he's came across it, but and he also says somewhere in here that he knows the Reddit thing all too well or something. I can't remember exactly where it was. He said something about it in here. I remember reading it. I just don't remember. I guess I can just do Reddit. Wait, that didn't... I swear he mentioned Reddit in here. I thought he did. Forum. Yeah. Specific forums online with synonymous leader activity. Promote the Gme. Blah, blah. I thought he said something about it. I just don't remember where it was. Yeah, I thought he said something about Reddit, but I guess not. Could have sworn. Maybe it's just one of these pictures. That's why it can't find it. I just don't remember. That was a lot of reading. It was a reply to a comment on Substack. Oh, was it? I thought I read something. I don't know. That was an hour of reading, so could have been a comment. It was a post on Reddit. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. I could have sworn I read something here though. But I guess Reddit. What the hell? You got custom GME Nikes? It's got to be AI, right? How do you get custom GME Nikes? Is that AI or am I tripping? I don't remember reading it or seeing it in here. Whatever. Whatever. Oh yeah, it was this, huh? It was the tweet. You're right. Curious to know if you're aware of the subreddit dedicated to this topic. Yeah. Okay, that's where I read it. It was on Twitter. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Okay. And we've been streaming for 2 hours. I didn't even know if I was going to stream today. My freaking power was out. Glad we got to it. I don't know what we do now, though. What's up, Rosh? What's up, bro? Eric Trump posting about GME buying 200 some Bitcoin? Nah, I didn't. On Twitter or what? Or Truth Social, probably. I don't have Truth Social. Is it on X or Truth Social? When was that? Six hours ago? On Truth Social or Reddit? Twitter? Oh, did I say Reddit? My bad. Reddit and Twitter are like in the same category for me. They're in the same category. In just 39 days, we passed 4 more competitors, officially making ABTC the 20th largest public Bitcoin treasury. Gemini passed November 5th, 2025 with a Bitcoin reserve of 4,004. GameStop passed December 8th, 2025 with a Bitcoin reserve of 4. Interesting. If true, but that's not plus 261 Bitcoin, I don't think. They had 4,710, so they only added like 70 Bitcoin, right? 4783. Yeah, they only added 73 Bitcoin. So what would that be? They probably bought it at 90,000. So 6.5 million. I could see that. Interesting. Interesting if true. Very interesting if true. What does the comment section look like? The good I appreciate that, Rosh. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate you posting that. That's a relevant piece right there. That's a relevant piece right there. Yeah, Rosh is, bro. Rosh is a true GameStop connoisseur. He's a true connoisseur. So I don't know why it says plus 261 Bitcoin in 3 days when it's realistically only 73. So whether this is accurate or not, who knows? But yeah, how would you know that? I mean, there's this website. I forget what it's called. I want to say it's like bitcointreasuries.com or something. I want to say it's this. Yeah, it says 4710 on there still. I think that was their website, bitcointreasuries.net. Yeah, I wonder how he got that info. Does he say? The ABTC. Oh wait, that's that business. Speaks louder in announcements. Treasury goes. Overtaking strategy. Yeah, I wonder where they got this information from. That's a really good point. I guess we'll see next quarter. I mean, that's sick. That's sick if they added. Like you know, of course I was hoping they would have sold the top, but like if they're just adding a little bit at a time as they make profit, that's smart investing. That's smart investing. Very smart investing. It's not like all these other companies that raise like $1 billion and then YOLO it all into Bitcoin. GameStop's actually using real profits to buy Bitcoin. That's awesome. And they're not, they're not buying a tremendous amount to where if it goes down a lot, it'll affect anything. Like not GameStop. Bitcoin would literally have to have or more for it to really affect GameStop in a negative way. But yeah, that's shout out to Rosh, bro. That was a fire find, a good find. I would also be curious how they found this info though. Maybe it's insider info, who knows? Who knows? That was a good find, Rosh. That was a good find. What do I think about Kevin Gill's recent IG post? I don't have Instagram, so I don't even know what it is. I saw he posted that picture of their Christmas photo, and Keith was in it. I thought that was funny. But I think they deleted that. I don't have Instagram. So I have no clue what it even is. Yeah, I mean, no matter how you look at it, that's just proper capital allocation, bro. Like, if this is real, they're about to post a 600 million net income quarter or year, probably around 600 million. You add 6 million to the Bitcoin treasury. That's only 1% of your full net income for the year, right? I think that's right. Do 6 million divided by 600 million. Pretty sure that's 1%. Yeah. Like, that's proper capital allocation, bro. That's what you want to see. Like, straight up. That's what I want to see. If they're going to continue on this Bitcoin, I hate, I hate Bitcoin, but like if they're going to continue acquiring it and having it on the balance sheet, at least they're doing it properly. Yeah, that was a good find. That was a good find. This is a good post. Stock goes from 40 to 70. What a success. Stock goes from 40 to 187 to 70. What a disaster. Oh, wow. That is a solid tweet right there. That is a solid tweet. Really made me think what else they're doing. If Eric knows this, maybe GME's involved with ABTC. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's GameStop. You know, whether it's real or not, we'll find out here in like 2 or 3 months, whatever. But if that's real, that's GameStop giving real investors who actually research information that isn't like coming directly from GameStop. Because if imagine GameStop directly announces they bought more Bitcoin, the stock's gonna react, whether negatively or positively. That's up for debate, of course, but having a low-key announcement like that, the stock's not gonna react. Like, I haven't even seen anyone post about that in Reddit. Like, nobody really knows about that. How did you even find that? I haven't even seen anyone post that on Reddit. Like, how did you find that? That's like a low-key... That's a low-key way to announce that you bought more Bitcoin. And, like I said, I can see it because from a capital allocation perspective, throwing 1% of your yearly earnings into Bitcoin is not a terrible idea. It's really not. So I could definitely see it. I'm a degenerate. I mean, but nobody else has mentioned that, so... Were you just following Trump? Or Eric, I guess? You just saw it? Like, nobody's talking about that. Not a single mention of that. And normally, Reddit would be on top of something like this. So that is a very low-key, like, way low-key. Hey, look, we know this guy. We know this guy. Everybody who mentions GME is on my radar. I'm German. It's in my blood. Let's go. Let's go. I didn't know Eric had ever made a mention. Wallet addresses are public if you know where to look, which I don't, but any Bitcoin transfers are completely viewable on the blockchain. Oh yeah, that's a good point. You would have to know GameStop's wallet, though. And I don't. That'd be a good thing for someone out there to find. That would be a good thing for someone out there to find, is if you could find GameStop's crypto wallet. That'd be a good find. I'm sure it's out there, but I don't know where it is. These numbers reflect what ABTC bought and then their total number. Reddit's kind of funny right now. What the fuck? This guy is really like that butthurt that he got clapped gambling on power packs. Like, I'm not gonna watch the video, but is that reality? Is he like that upset that he got clapped gambling? It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. Okay. Yeah, that was a good find, Rosh. That was fire. I guess I gotta follow Eric Trump now, huh? I don't want to. I don't think I want to. Wait, what's this? Why does this have GameStop on it? Backed Bitcoin miner American Bitcoin just flipped GameStop and became the second largest Bitcoin treasury company. Oh, okay. I see. They're just talking about how they passed GameStop. I see. I guess we gotta follow Eric then, huh? What a rip. What a rip. Do I follow you? I swear I follow you, Rosh. Don't I follow you? I thought I did. I guess not. I should have sworn. Could have sworn I followed Rosh on here. Because I'm sure you reposted that. Where the hell are you? There you are. I imagine you reposted that. You didn't repost it? I would have missed it even if I wasn't following you. I post a lot of crap, maybe unfollowed. It's possible. It's definitely possible. When I see too much GameStop stuff, I tend to not want to see it. Especially if it's from Twitter. Usually not interested. But you should have reposted that. That was a good thing. That was a good find, bro. You should have reposted. I forgot. All good, all good. Humidor on a Pokemon card to flatten it? I've never heard of that. Talking about ABTC adding Bitcoin and not the GME adding? I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I mean, maybe on Twitter there's people talking about it, but I didn't see nothing. I mean, yeah, he is talking about when they passed GameStop, but GameStop's in GameStop's recent 10Q, they only had 4,710 Bitcoin, and the cutoff for the quarter was like November 5th or something. I don't know the exact number or the exact date. The cutoff was November sometime. So December 8th, like who knows when they bought this? They could have bought it like the day before December 8th. Like who knows, you know? So it's I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But it says right here, GameStop passed December 8th, 2025 with a Bitcoin reserve of 4,783. So are you saying this is saying that they passed them and they're sitting at 4,783? I get what you're saying if that's what you're saying. But how see, I get what you're saying, but okay, I see. I see what you're looking at now. I gotcha. Yeah, you might be right. That's probably their reserve numbers. I see what you're saying, because yeah, if you did 4,004 plus 779, that's probably 4,083. Yeah, 4,783. Yeah, you might be right. You probably are right. So yeah, maybe they didn't buy any more Bitcoin. Maybe they're just tracking. tracking how much ABTC is collecting. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, that's why it's good to bring that stuff to the chat, because you can verify. Even I thought for a minute, oh, maybe they added, but when you actually look at the post, it makes more sense. Makes more sense. Well, that's lame. That's lame. These videos are weird, bro. These AI videos. Such a weird thing. I've been seeing these AI videos a lot. So weird. Oh, wait, that was For You. Yeah, I don't like looking at my For You page on Twitter. Shit's garbage. It's all just brain rot nonsense. It's brain rot. I'm crying now. That's all good, bro. It's all good. It was still a good find, either way. Either way, still a good find, a mention of GameStop. We'll take it. We'll take it. I should delete X. Same. Same. We all should. If I'm being real, we all should delete X. Just play Arc Raiders, no social media. That's smart. That's smart. It's a good idea. Hugh G asked you a question about some cards. I don't know if you saw that. It's up a little bit. Best memes are on X, but yeah. I'm not a meme guy. I don't really find memes funny. Sometimes I'll get the rare meme that I find funny, but I'm not really a meme guy. I don't really understand memes. I'm a boomer, I swear. I'm a fucking boomer, bro. I'm a boomer, but I'm not a boomer. I wanted to buy a PS5, but I chose Gme. Fire choice. Eric Trump just should learn to better present his data. That's fair. That's fair. I'm older than you, but I do love me some good memes. Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. There's some funny videos out there. There's some funny shorts and stuff, but yeah, I'm not a meme guy. I don't really like memes. I don't like shorts. I like reading. I like watching like long form videos. Like if Michael Burry made this a video instead of an article, 100% I would have listened to it. But I'm down to read too. Get a crease out. Oh, but yeah. I don't know where we go from here. There's not much. I think we already checked that. Nothing there. Bitcoin still down. DoorDash reveals AI-powered social app that helps you discover new restaurants. What? School rule forces kids to wear helmets to play in the snow? What? Yep. I don't know where to go from here. Might be the end of the stream unless you guys got something to talk about. I just don't really know. I just don't, and I want to post that video. I'm sure people want to rewatch that. So do you guys got anything? Megazard's minty as fuck, but it has 2 very small dings on the top edge. I've had it chilling between 2 pages of the book, some weights on top of it. Looking better, but trying to have it looking best before I consider sending it. That's tough. It's always, man, that sucks. It sucks when you pull a card like that and it's not the mintiest. Short form videos brain rot, but certain memes can make the brain work. I agree with that. Thanks for reading that again. Thanks for listening, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate you listening. What's for dinner? I don't know. Good question. I don't know. I don't even think I've ate today. I can't. I don't know. Good question. I think I have leftover tacos potentially, so I'll probably just make that. Taco, burrito. Corners are rough to get back. Yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. Tacos are awesome. Yeah, I love tacos. Some sour cream. Some avocado. Making myself hungry. That sounds good. Some sour cream, some avocado, some cilantro. Woo! Some cilantro. Yeah, that sounds good. It's probably what I'm gonna go make. Some leftover, if they're still in the fridge. I don't know if they are. It's probably what I'll end up making though. Taco, burrito. Tomorrow should be a decent stream. You got some earnings tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a decent stream. If you guys remember the last time we streamed that. And you got Nike on Thursday. That should be a good time. Nike will be a good earnings stream, or should be a good earnings stream. We'll see. What about next week? What does next week look like? Oh, you don't have shit next week. That's sad. Maybe it's not updated. But maybe you don't have shit. Well, at least we got 2 earnings things to stream about this week. That's nice. And then it's probably going to be boring streams for the next like month or 2 because I don't think anything's happening, unfortunately. Probably attempt the humidor clamp press between some acrylic. Hot shower, leave the card in the room. Maybe the steam can humidor press it again. No Burry bump. I wasn't really expecting a Burry bump, but I guess not. I don't really, personally, I've never correlated news to stock movement ever in my lifetime, and I don't plan on starting anytime soon. So, sure, maybe some people out there thought Burry's little article would do something to the stock, but I would never think that. Keep an eye out for the Burry video. Yeah, I'll get that uploaded right after I get out of here. But thanks for being here, Hugh G. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you supporting the stream all the time. Much love, much love. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here as well. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Shout out to everyone here. Jeremy, Hugh G, Muma, Rosh, Mudcats. Maybe Elvis is there somewhere. Varley. AP. Who else is here? I don't know who else is here. Ruben. Johnny, maybe. Jesse. I don't know. Moose, maybe. I think Moose left, though. Matt Romano. I don't know who's here, but either way, I appreciate you guys always supporting the stream. Thank you. God bless you. For real, thank you guys. It's fucking awesome that I can just start up this stream and all these beautiful people are here to listen to me talk about nothing most of the time. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Micron earnings. And that should be pretty fun. Micron earnings should be a good time. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of your night. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. God bless ya. Peace!